and get your reaction, David, to their statements. I thought they sounded similar, but I thought they were starkly different. You had one mom, and that was Ruby Franke, talking about the fact she seemed to take responsibility for her actions, but also was claiming she was brainwashed. So I thought there was a bit of a disconnect there. And then Jody Hildebrandt, the prosecutor, brought in and mentioned in his arguments against her that she was talking on jailhouse phone calls about it being the kid's fault, and she really shouldn't be where she is. So clearly she's having a little bit of a disconnect as well.
Yeah, absolutely. In this state, and a lot of states are not like this, where there's such a wide range and it's up to the parole board. So the parole board in this state's really going to determine whether or not they get out at 4 or they get out at 60. And what's troubling for Hildebrandt is exactly what you brought up, Michael. In fact, when the prosecutor was making the argument for the Hildebrandt, the second defendant, not only was he arguing that she had a specialized counseling role to be helping people, and when she was doing the opposite, but she's on the phones. And I keep on banging the drum about remaining silent, and people are talking on these phones, and the prosecutors and the police are listening to the phone calls, and she was saying, I'm not responsible. I'm only taking this deal so that the kids don't have to go through the trauma of the court house and the trial. And the prosecutor pounded on it. And not only did he pound on it, but he said, we are attaching the recordings for the parole board to see, because don't forget that wide range that the parole board has opportunity to do. And if that is what the prosecutor says it is, then the parole board's going to take it into consideration, a step back from acceptance of responsibility, and she's going to probably get more than Franke, the mother.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the prosecutors will be there for both of their parole hearings when they do come up. And I've argued before that I like leaving certain sentences in the hands of parole boards because they're the ones can determine what's actually happening with these defendants and with these inmates. So I can't now go back on that. I think it's not a bad idea. We'll see how it all shapes out. Bad dude. Finally, David, only 30 seconds left. We're expecting to find out what the defense is going to do. I don't suspect he's going to take the stand. But my question for you is, does the defense have to address, if they go to closing arguments and when they go to closing arguments, his absence in the courtroom? Can they address it, and will they and should they?
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael, I think he's got a Hail Mary coming. I think he's going to take the stand. I think he's coming into the courtroom to take the stand. Wow. And I think what he's going to say is, I didn't want to put myself through hearing all this evidence about my daughter, but I didn't do it. And it wouldn't be the first time he said that, Michael. Let's not forget, he's already pled guilty to offenses, right? And when he pled guilty, what he said, he made a statement at that time. He said, Judge, I don't want you to take the investigation or the charges about my daughter into consideration. I am not guilty of that, and I look forward to my day in court. Well, he hasn't had his day in court yet. He was there one day for jury selection, and he does have the ability to walk into the court tomorrow, get on that stand. No matter what, he's going down. Trust me. But if he doesn't, yes, Michael, I expect the defense attorney to at least address it, because the jury will get a jury instruction that says you can't take it into consideration. So at least highlight it and then make the argument, and then he's going to be found guilty. If he shows up or not, the evidence is strong in this case.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But you make an interesting point about him possibly testifying. We'll find out tomorrow morning. All right, gentlemen, stand by.